Hello everyone, Tart and Sauce with you, and we are flying a little bit of DCS A-10. As you can see, I've got my DCS, or my A-10 rather, loaded up pretty well. I've got some CBU-97s, CBU-105, multiple Mavericks, and GBU-12s. So, we are rolling in on a target, multiple targets actually, and I'm going to drop me a CBU-105 on these guys since there are multiples. I'm already on my flight path here, and we're about a minute out from dropping. So what we're going to expect is that the CBU is going to drop down. It's going to open up its parachute, throw out its canisters that are full of BLU-108s, and those BLU-108s are going to fly out spinning like a bunch of hockey pucks, and they are going to detonate as soon as they find a target beneath them, and they'll fire out a copper-shaped charge. So that's what we can expect from that, and since there are multiple little skeets, we will expect, and bombs away. We will expect that multiple targets will be hit, since they're fairly close proximity to one another. Now I'm just gonna bring this sucker around over here, and let's go to altitude hold, and I'll keep this bank. So here we are following our CBU-105. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Alright, so it has popped open. It's thrown out its little chutes with the canisters. Now, what these canisters are going to do, they're going to, and if I'm not mistaken, the CBU-105, it actually has a drift correction for wind. I think that's, if that's accurate, that's maybe what distinguishes it from the 97. And any moment now, we'll see these little guys popping, and as they do, they fire out little skeets that seek their targets and hopefully detonate above them. Alright, so just trying to get some eyes on these little skeets doing their thing, but looks like they're kind of few and far between here. Looks as though that was a miss. I'm not sure why it drifted so much. It should be accounting for the wind. We can throw another. We can throw a 97 down on it and see what happens. And if that fails, we'll just hit them with Mavericks. Why not? So, since it drifted as far as it did, I'm just gonna lock onto this area and launch, or release, I should say, a CBU-97. It drifted south and, or what? Maybe not south, but southwest, I guess it'd be. I'm not even sure what direction we're going here. Yeah. Wind looks like it's coming from the north east. This is wind 101 at 15. I'm not sure if that's where I am or if that's surface projected winds, but at any rate, I'm just going to go ahead and watch another one here. Now, this does not have, the CCRP was not set for that, so I'm just going to assume, that was a good release point, and we'll see. That's somebody's missile. We'll see what happens here. It should guide it pretty well in to where I was trying to send it, but kind of looks like I did not put it far enough to the northeast, actually. So those are gonna drift and not hit anything. It looks like. I don't think there are any active units over here, so that's very disappointing. All right,
Warning,
that's not
autopilot.
working out. Let me zoom out here. I think I'm maybe zoomed out far enough. Okay, let me try to program that point one more time. All right, and I will do profile CCRP. And that's a continuously calculated release point, if I'm not mistaken. I think CCIP is continuously calculated impact point. So what CCRP will do for you is we will get an indicator that will guide us in on our target, on our release point. So you'll have us hold a heading, and when the moment is right, the bomb will automatically release as long as you're holding the button down. So we're 20 seconds out, and let's get a little left here. I've just gone ahead and manually adjusted my bomb trajectory. 5 seconds. 4. Holding the button down. And bomb is away. See ya. Should probably go ahead and get the autopilot on, because I enjoy watching the bomb come in and impact. And let's see what happens. So that was north of, or excuse me, northeast where I wanted it. And with the stiff breeze that we've got going on here, kind of figured it was going to drag it a little closer to those, but maybe that wind is accurate. 101 at 15. Yeah, I think I've totally missed the mark on this. I should have aimed further to the southeast. Alright. We managed to get one target out of that. If that had been a little more accurate, we could have smoked multiple units in one shot. So, with that in mind, let's just go ahead and go to the Maverick here and start finding targets. Okay, now that's slewing over to
Warning, autopilot.
Get on target, and I'm gonna go ahead and whip around over here. Alright, one away. Now, it looks as though we have multiples here, so I'm gonna try it. Having some issues. I'm gonna have to use the targeting pod to actually line up my next Mav shot. Sometimes, like, if you're too close, you're gonna have that problem. So I am going to luck that guy. You know, usually I can get like 3 shots off, but I guess I was definitely too close. So
warning, autopilot.
I'm gonna steer back this direction. I'm also pretty high up. I'm around 11,000 feet. 12,000 feet. So yeah. Trying to get my aircraft trimmed out here. I kind of like the Su-25 because if you put it in autopilot, it automatically trims the aircraft. If you put the autopilot on with the A-10, it'll fly what you want it to do. It'll hold altitude and heading and whatnot, but it won't trim the aircraft for you. So when you release it, it automatically goes back to, you know, whatever trim you had previously, and it's just, it is what it is. So no lazy feature with it, unfortunately. Alright, got my Mav slewing over. And I'm gonna roll out, slow down a little bit. One away. Two away. Alright. Follow these in. One hit. Alright, and 2. And so far we're not taking any kind of fire from the ground. I've got the my countermeasure system I've got it set to auto on so that if anything does fire on me, then it'll automatically start working my chaff and flares and what have you.
Warning, autopilot.
Well, so that was a Maverick, or a couple Mavericks actually doing some work. I'm gonna excuse me. I'm gonna go to the GBU-12. It's a laser guided bomb, and you will see those on the outboard of the wing there. Turn around, I'm gonna lock onto it, and actually need to select that. Go back into point mode. I think I need to have this on latch. Alright, turn my laser on with the insert key. And, you know what, I'm going to set that profile CCRP. Save that. Here we go. I'm about 20 degrees off. And there we go. Lining up for that attack. Six seconds, 5 till release. 3, 2, and it really doesn't have to be that accurate. It needs to be fairly close. Well, you'll see what will happen. Bomb's gonna drop out. It's gonna kind of dummy fall for a little bit here, and then it's going to see that laser designator, and then it's going to adjust. So you notice how it was kind of just a ballistic trajectory, then it swung itself around once that seeker found the laser. There we go. That's a hit. Now these other vehicles they're hot footing it out of there. Well, I've got one for them too. So let's go GBU-12. I'm gonna make sure that profile is set at CCRP. Save it. $60 degrees, 50, 40, and rolling out. A little too soon, perhaps. But we are there nonetheless. You know, I like the CCRP because if you use CCIP, you have to look down. You have to really aim the aircraft toward the ground to see where the impact is going to be. And that's not any fun for trying to keep your altitude, you know, stay in a level flight. And once again, Mr. GBU-12 is on the way. Excuse me. My understanding is the nose of the GBU-12, the seeker, that it swivels, and I've seen pictures with it. It looks like it's just hanging. When that little seeker on the front of it, on the ground, it's just stationary. It kind of looks like it was just hanging off in the pictures I saw, just kind of hanging downward. Now I guess what happens is when it is in free fall, the sensor kind of shuttlecocks to where it's all, or weather vanes, I guess you could say. It just kind of always stays into the wind. So when the bomb is making its adjustments, the sensor is always kind of pointing on target, or relatively on target. I could be wrong about that, but just based off of pictures I've seen, what it looks like it's doing, and kind of the logic I would assume that follows behind that.
Autopilot.
I think that's what's happening. Anybody, if you know any better about that, if you have any more information on the GBU-12, how that works, let me know. Now let's maybe find some more targets that are grouped together. You know, I'm going to try this one more time. I'm going to do that CBU-105. Let's see. CCRP is set automatically. Some of these bombs are preloaded that way. Now I went ahead and adjusted it southeast a little, and try to account for that drift. Let's let's get on target here with that. I'd like to really see it work over some vehicles. Multiples. Alright. Now, as you can see, our little reticule in the middle, it's winding up, and that means our release is about to... Okay, here we go. Now I can manually release at that point, which I did. As long as you keep that little, I don't know what you'd call it, it's just kind of like this little indicator. If it's between these two diamonds, these two points, then you can do a manual release. Alright, let's check on the CBU-105. It's about where I tried to put it. I wanted to put it a little southeast. Kind of put it into the wind a little. And we're looking good so far. They are drifting right over the targets. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. And we can see these three vehicles that are lined up. It should work out very well, I think. Alright, now it's popping its BLU-108 skeets out. Excellent. 3 vehicle kill. Now you can see where these other vehicles were grouped together. If I'd gotten here earlier when those weren't destroyed, probably could have taken almost all of them out with that one bomb. It's pretty amazing. If you would have noticed, maybe in the in that exterior view there, when the BLU-108s were firing, when they had sensed the target, they fire a copper-shaped charge. That was actually visually represented. And you may have seen it as a bright glow, like a streak that fired toward the vehicles on the ground. Pretty neat. I love the detail of DCS. It's just an amazing simulator. One time I actually spoke to an A-10 pilot, a major in the Air Force, and I was joking with him. I said, I think I could probably start up and steal an A-10 if I really had to. And I told him about DCS, and we kind of laughed, and he said, "Oh yeah, no, if you can fly DCS, if you can do all the systems, if you can start it up, it is exactly how it is in the real world." He was very impressed with DCS and said that it is accurate. All right, somebody's firing a missile, and I don't know if that's coming at me or not. I'm thinking maybe somebody else is maybe doing some groundwork, and they might have fired off a Maverick. Your radar warning system will detect that. So sometimes if you're up with friendlies, they'll pop off a warning. So usually what you do is you keep your countermeasure system in semi-auto, and if you have to initiate it, then you do it yourself. Otherwise, it's going to sense that missile launch, and it's going to just start popping flares and whatnot. Alright, so for the end of this video, I'm just going to run in with some guns, shoot that target, and call it a day. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to see, any kind of particular targets or whatnot, weapon systems you'd like to see me use. After this video, I'll probably head back to the Frog Foot and do some more air-to-ground stuff. I have not trimmed up very well. Okay, so we'll try to get on target here. And what I don't like is when you get the gun pipper over your target, the little glowing reticule goes away, and that's kind of disappointing. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Alright. And looks like I did enough to scare it. I just fired all around it. That's crazy. Alright. I'm going to YOLO on this one in a second here. I'm just gonna turn in and plow on in. Let's get them. Alright, Here we go.
Pull up, pull up.
Uh-oh.
Altitude, altitude.
I think I might have got him. I certainly fired enough rounds on him to have taken him out. Swing on back over here. Yep. There he goes. He's smoked. Alright, people. That's it for me today. Y'all see anything y'all like me to do? Let me know.
Altitude, altitude.
Yeah. Take it easy, guys.